What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video, I'm bringing Blastoise. Shiny Blastoise with sunglasses. And this Pokemon, I know how you guys feel, right? It is a Pokemon that is like one update away from being meta. It's got the bulk, it has that water typing, it has Hydro Cannon and Ice Beam, also Skull Bash could be mixed in there. I would love to see a different coverage move. Obviously, if it could get Icy Wind, that would be amazing. And it needs a better fast move. But it's on the cusp, much like Feraligatr in the previous season. Blastoise is one of those Pokemon that is just sitting there and waiting. Venusaur is strong, Charizard strong, Blastoise, it needs some love. But with this team, Talonflame on the lead, a Dugong safe swap, it performed extremely well today. And it wasn't just carried by Talonflame and Dugong, right? Don't get me wrong, those two are meta, they are strong. But Blastoise did its thing. It put in work today. So I hope you guys enjoy. This is a unique team that you guys could potentially run. If you guys want to do something else, not run Blastoise, I mean, pick and choose your water Pokemon that fills into that slot, right? You could go with the Feraligatr, you could go with Whiscash or Swamp, or like whatever you want to do. We just need the water type Pokemon there, and Dugong and Talonflame, you guys can run those. So I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, getting into the first battle, we have Talonflame on the lead versus Carbink. It's going to be a rough one. You guys are going to enjoy today's video. This is going to be a rough one. We got to swap out into Dugong right away, and we do draw out a Decidueye. So, obviously, if the Carbink stays in, and this is what's beautiful about Dugong Safe Swap, if Carbink stays in, it's a good matchup for it, right? Super effective damage with the Rock Throw and Rock Slide. But the thing is, if they're weak in the back to Talonflame, then Talonflame gets to get switch advantage, right? And gets to stay away from Carbink. If they have Grass in the back, which they often do, or water, Dugong coming in can handle this matchup. I'm able to go into the 2-to-1 shield scenario and fully farm down, take out a grass type Pokemon. That's the power that Dugong has. So what we're going to see is we're likely going to see the Carbink come back in, looking to get a aggressive farm down, and thankfully Dugong has access to Drill Run, which is so clutch for Pokemon like Registeel, Pokemon like Carbink, Pokemon like Bastiodon. You guys are going to see some of those today, and Drill Run is a perfect charge move here in order to give you that essential coverage, so we were able to maintain switch advantage. We have 0 shields, but we have switch. This is beautiful. Blastoise now is going to come in, and they have Shadow Victory Belt in the back. So it was a Carbink double grass backline, and that is going to be a good game. And what you guys are going to see is another reason why I like Blastoise. I'm going to be talking about it a lot today throughout these battles. But what you guys are going to see is, obviously we're not going to be taking out the Carbink here with the Talonflame, but we're just going to go for the Flame Charge boosted Fly here, as it's going to do a bit more damage, and then we get to come in with Blastoise. Now, the first thing that I like about Blastoise is its bulk. It is very tanky, and you guys, as you guys are going to see, these Rock Slides don't do that much damage. You guys will notice throughout your battles if you guys decide to run Blastoise in this formation, or maybe a different combination of Pokemon, right? But giving Blastoise a try, it's bulky. It can take a hit, especially when it's paired with Icy Wind debuffs. Good game. Alright, moving to the next one, Goodra. This is going to be a tough Pokemon to face off against, so I'm going to swap into Dugong right away to get ahead on energy as they overload and likely bank an Aqua Tail right there, as we will see Annihilate come in. Now, Goodra got access to Thunder Punch. I want to be sure I missed the community day. I had other things going on in my life with my family, so I missed the community day. But Goodra is typically still going to run Aqua Tail and Power Whip, which gives us a bit more play, but honestly it's still going to be tough because of what it can do with Aqua Tail against Talonflame. But what's great about Dugong here in this situation is I'm able to get myself a 2-to-1 shield advantage against an Annihilate. Like, come on, this is beautiful because I had so much energy right there. Now, I'm going to come in with Blastoise. You guys are going to see its bulk. Remember what I said before, pairing it with the Icy Wind debuffs means it can, look at these, that's nice, it's doing nothing. Blastoise is thick as can be, and it has Ice Beam as well, and this is what really started to turn my head going, oh, Blastoise has some synergy with, when you pair it with the right Pokemon, it can do really well. Now, we're in a tough position here. Mantine coming in, Mantine and a Goodra, mind you, for a Talonflame, is going to be tough, but we do have the 2-to-1 shield advantage. So what we're going to look to do is go for the Ice Beam right here. This is a lot of neutral damage, and then we need to swap right away into our Talonflame to get ahead on energy, because we are winning this game with Fly. We need to get as many, 3 flies, we win the game, right? So we're going to go ahead and no shield this one. It was a bit quick for Water Pulse, so I guessed it was the Aerial Ace, which it was. Now the Goodra coming back in has the Aqua Tail ready to go. Totally fine, I can shield that. And I'm going to look to go for Fly here. Flame Charge is not the move to go for. Fly is, because if it, oh, it's beautiful. If it lands, that means I get to farm down. And this is now a very close game. We're going to go for the Fly right away, and then we need to do 2 Incinerates, I believe, in order to win. So we do get the shield. We're gonna go 1, we're gonna go 2, and we get there just in time. So facing off against a Goodra lead, an Annihilate mid-game, and a Mantine in the back, this team was able to overcome. It was beautiful. So good battle. All right. Moving into the next one, we have Talonflame versus Bastiodon on the lead. You guys are going to see this, right? We're going to swap into Dugong right away. Much like the previous matchup with Carbink, it begs them to stay in because they are likely weak in the back. They are likely running something like Shadow Victory Bell, something like Tropius, something like Wigglytuff, Venusaur, right? That's what's back there. When you guys see Bastiodon or Carbink lead, think double grass in the back or a Charmer of some sorts, anti-fighters, and sure enough, there's a Tropius that swaps in. So we have plenty of energy. Dugong is in a great position right here where I can do so much damage. And we have misaligned switch timers as well, which is pretty big. Considering that we're going to be losing this matchup right here, most likely, is they're going to be shielding, and we are unfortunately going to go down to Razor Leaf. We weren't able to knock them out, but with misaligned timers, I'm going to be able to come in with the Talonflame. I should have come in right away, actually, looking at that. I waited too long. Should have come in right away, could have given myself an extra 3 seconds there. But we're going to be able to swap into Blastoise the second they come in because their switch clocks are messed up. So watch how this plays out. We're going to swap into Blastoise right away. Their switch clock is messed up. They can't switch out, and now they can. Trevenant is coming in, and this is beautiful. This is the opportunity we were looking for. Do we one-shot with Ice Beam? No, they decided to shield. So this game is not over. The shiny Trevenant there on their side is making the right play. They're overloading a lot on energy. So I'm going to let Blastoise go down because Talonflame and Incinerate can shred. We're going to go ahead and shield. We're going to commit. If this is Shadow Ball, which it is, we're going to commit to farm down here, and then we are going to be able to get double Flame Charge. They are able to get to a Seed Bomb right here, so thankfully it wasn't Seed Bomb then Shadow Ball. We got the Seed Bomb there, but I have 2 Flame Charges ready to go. So this is going to be a good game. Mind you, Bastiodon double grass into Talonflame double water. Come on, everyone. This is beautiful. Talonflame is going to be cooking once again, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. Boom. Down it goes. All right. Moving into the next battle, we have Talonflame versus Talonflame. Okay, mirror fight. What I like to do in these fights, as I know most people, like, I say most people, I actually don't have a statistical number, but it feels like most people go for Flame Charge. I just go straight Fly. Like, you're doing a lot of damage. I'm also going to swap out into Dugong here, as they went for the extra Incinerate, which means they're going to likely go for the charge move. That means we catch it, so now we have a 2-to-1 shield advantage. If they shielded the Talonflame, that means they might be weak to Talonflame in the back. Sure enough, there's a Cresselia that comes onto the field, and this is a beautiful situation to be in. When you are in a 2-to-1 against a Cresselia, you have energy on Dugong. What we're going to be able to do is really soften this Cresselia up and then come in and farm down with Talonflame for quite a bit of energy and not have to really worry or be concerned, right, about that Future Sight. The Future Sight is a very hard-hitting move, but with 2 Icy Wind debuffs here, the Cresselia's attack is dropped significantly. So we're looking pretty good. We're not going to try to go for some one-to-one shield switch advantage because I don't really need it. My own Talonflame with 2-to-1s against their Talonflame or my Blastoise can beat a Talonflame, right? So what I want is a 2-to-1 shield advantage against whatever Pokemon's in the back as we let Future Sight go. But they decided to swap in their own Talonflame, so I counter swap to catch what I hope is the next Flame Charge. Oh, Blastoise is just smug as a bug right there. Actually, he's not even a bug, he's a turtle. But you get what I mean. This is such a good situation. We're going to go ahead and shield and then commit to the farm down, and Blastoise is in such a good position. We have lots of energy on our Talonflame. The Cresselia is out of the game, basically. It's extremely low, and they decide to surrender. So good game to my opponent. Caught 2 moves there. Ooh. Alright, moving to the next one. We have Talonflame versus Annihilape on the lead. So, finally, a good lead. We do see them swap out into Dugong. So, what I'm going to do in this situation is soften up the Dugong. I'm going to go for the Flame Charge here, just in case they go for Icy Wind, because I think they had 5. But I'm going to counter swap in my own Dugong now, which is totally fine. I could have gotten away with Fly right there, actually. But bringing in my own Dugong, this does a few things. Firstly, we are at a massive health advantage. It doesn't matter if they're ahead of us by basically 1 full charge move. The amount of health we got there with Talonflame is going to counteract that discrepancy, right? So now we get to maintain switch advantage. We also get to utilize our Dugong in a way where we can soften up our health enough where the opponent's Annihilape is not going to be able to farm us down before I can apply 2 Icy Wind debuffs. Because I'm going to go ahead and shield here. It is going to be Drill Run. So I am shielding so that I maintain quite a bit of health. And then now I get to go double Icy Wind here against Annihilape. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to be swapping into Blastoise. I don't want them to get this much health in terms of energy farm down. So I'm going to go double Icy Wind, and then I'm going to counter swap into Blastoise in case they have Bastiodon in the back, because now they're forced to stay in. And if they stay in with Annihilape in this situation here, they have to throw energy, and it's already double debuffs. And Blastoise right here, close combat, 50%, like we're chilling, and it's a Skarmory in the back. I was thinking it was going to be something like Lickitung or maybe Bastiodon. That's what I was considering. But Skarmory is fine as well. Obviously, we have our Talonflame still in this game. We have our Dugong for potential sack swap, maybe a cheeky farm down. Like there's some play left, and we do get 2 shields from our opponent. And we're going to go ahead and no-shield this. We're going to come in with our Talonflame. We're going to end this game right here, as Talonflame can easily sweep teams like this, where it's just got such a nice type advantage in situations like we are seeing right now. Flame Charge here is going to be the charge move of choice, as it is doing super effective damage, and that's going to get rid of the Skarmory. And then 1 Incinerate takes down the Annihilape, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. Alright, moving into the next one, we have Talonflame versus Lickitung. This is kind of similar to the Dugong matchup, where you want to soften it up before bailing out. So I'm going to go for Fly in this case. It's going to do a bit more damage because I'm not trying to stay in. And then I'm going to look to try to catch a charge move here, but I accidentally over-tapped. I was trying to swap right at that time, but I just messed up. So we got to eat the Body Slam, which is fine. And now since I'm stuck in here, right, and I've just eaten that, we're adjusting our strategy. I would have tried to swap, but now we just go double Fly, and they just let it go. I'm like, okay, we do see Azumarill come in, so we're going to swap out right away into Dugong, and then we have Poliwrath. Now, this is kind of interesting. I don't know if you guys noticed at the beginning, but their Lickitung was doing Incinerates, and now this Poliwrath is doing Ice Shard as the fast move, which is really hard to cut. It's messing with my brain. Now, thankfully, Dugong right here is doing a lot of damage with Drill Run. We've gotten this Poliwrath extremely low already, and obviously Blastoise in the back against Azumarill, that's going to be fine. Like, it's no big deal, as a Scald will land, and this is, man, Poliwrath is not having a good time. We go for Icy Wind here, and they're going to shield. Sorry to give it away. They're going to shield, but look, because of the shield, I'm able to survive the damage from counter, and I Icy Wind down. So we just beat a Poliwrath in a 2-to-1 shield, or 0-to-1 shielding scenario. Blastoise right here coming into a Zoomerl. This is perfectly fine. I'm going to shield for the potential Play Rough here, as it will do neutral damage. So we do get the Play Rough. And now we're just going to be going Hydro Cannons. And obviously if you have Skull Bash here instead of Ice Beam, you're going to want to go for that. But we're just going to overload on energy and then just go Hydro Cannons. This is resisted damage, but it's totally fine. And what I'm going to look to do is no shield their next charge move here coming in, because their only win con is now me shielding an Ice Beam. So I'm going to let it go, and it was an Ice Beam. So perfect. Even if it was Play Rough, I think we still win because we have Talonflame in the back, right? Talonflame's pretty healthy, and the Azumarill cannot bubble it down by the time I get to a fly. So this is going to be a good game. We have so many Hydro Cannons loaded, and now we're going to be taking out the Blue Bunny, so that is going to be a good game to my opponent. But yeah, fun battle right there. Alright, moving into the next one. We have Talonflame on the lead versus Dewgong. Okay, so this is going to be a matchup that I was referencing earlier about the Lickitung, but it came the game after. So we go for Flame Charge here, and then I'm going to try to swap and catch the charge move on my own Dewgong. But I don't get it. Obviously, it's going to be charge attack priority here. So now we're kind of in a tough situation. I'm going to go ahead and shield. I'm going to look to overload on energy and then see if we can go for this fly here. I believe they are 1 or 2 away from another Icy Wind. We do get the shield, so I'm going to let them go for Icy Wind, but go for the Ice Shard. We swap out, but this is totally fine. We're now in the 1s, which is good. Because Dewgong right here is dumping its energy into us with Drill Run, and they're not swapping out. So this is making me feel like they're trying to soften me up because they don't have a great answer, or they're trying to catch a charge move that they think I'm going to be throwing. So I'm going to try to throw here, which I do. It's actually predictable because that's 10 Ice Shards, but that's fine. Drill Run now is going to be taking them out, so I'm very curious what they have in the back, and it's going to be Sableye. So I don't know what Pokemon number 3 is going to be, because if it was something like Annihilate, it would have already come in. But Double Ghost, or the Sableye right here, going to be totally fine. We almost get to another Icy Wind, and I actually decide to shield right here, because I think I can get a lot of utility now from this Icy Wind, because if I get myself the 0-to-0 shielding scenario, we have a great chance at winning. With Blastoise coming in right here, and it's actually Gligar in the back. The reason why is Blastoise in some situations, because we had Dewgong on the lead and Sableye. I wasn't expecting a Grass. I mean, I guess there could have been in hindsight, but in the 0 shields, we could have gone for an Ice Beam. Now, here against Gligar, obviously, this is, I mean, Hydro Cannon, Ice Beam, same. Boom, either way. And then Sableye is going to go down to Hydro Cannon, so that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. Blastoise really putting in some work, able to... It's so bulky, right? And it's got the beautiful coverage. So good battle. Alright, next one. Talonflame versus Gligar. Shiny Gligar here on the lead. So we're going to go ahead and look to load up. And then I'm going to be, because I have 2 great answers in the back for Gligar, right? I got Dewgong and Blastoise. So I'm going to try to get myself a 2-to-1 shield advantage before bailing out, which I do. So now we're going to go into Dewgong right here, which is going to force them to swap out. And they bring in a Galarian Stunfisk, which is good. This puts a slight concern, or like an alert on my radar, that there might be maybe Bastiodon, maybe Registeel in the back, if their best answer is a Galarian Stunfisk, because after going for Icy Wind here, Rock Slides are not going to be enough. They're going to need to throw 3 to knock me out. And by that time, I'm going to be able to go for a Drill Run, and if they let that go through, I farm them down. So we're going to let the second Rock Slide go through. As you guys can see, I am in control of this mid-game matchup because of the 2-to-1 shield advantage that I got myself with Talonflame. So we go for Drill Run here. They let it go. Well, that's just going to seal the deal. I do 1 more Ice Shard. We get Switch, and now we get to see what's in the back, and it's going to be Lickitung. So this is perfectly fine. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Icy Wind. Now I can swap into Talonflame here safely, because the Gligar coming in is going to be forced to throw its energy. Aerial Ace isn't going to do that much. I'm going to be able to, I could easily let this go. Blastoise can win this game for me. So I decide to no shield this next one, and then I'm going to go for the fly here. This is going to knock out Gligar, or I get myself 2-0 shield, which is what they're opting for, and Blastoise against a shiny Gligar and a Lickitung. And the Lickitung does have Power Whip, right? Don't get me wrong. We got to be careful about that. But a Lickitung's Power Whip already isn't a hard-hitting move, right? Even if it is super effective, it doesn't hit like a truck. It's not going to one-shot a Blastoise. But Blastoise and Hydro Cannon, let me tell you, that's going to put in some work right here. So we're going to go ahead and let the Aerial Ace go through. We are totally fine. Hydro Cannon is going to be doing a lot of neutral damage. And unfortunately, this Lickitung just doesn't have enough energy left. So we're going to be able to go for double Hydro Cannon here. We're obviously going to shield just in case it is Power Whip. But if it is Body Slam, they don't get to Body Slam Power Whip in time. And we actually survive another Body Slam from this health range. So that is going to be a good game, very well played. Blastoise, shiny Blastoise with sunglasses, just sweeping, clean sweeping some teams today. And that is going to be a good battle. Alright, moving to the next one. Talonflame versus Medicham. This is going to be the final battle here. Haven't seen Medicham in a long time, so interesting to see it here on the lead. We do see a Sableye swap in right away, so we're going to come in with Dugong after softening it up with the Incinerate fast moves right there. Now I'm going to let this go. It is going to be returned, but I think we're still going to be okay because Blastoise can still do well against Medicham. I'm not really concerned about, like, I have to maintain switch advantage. Switch would be nice. An Icy Wind here does get a shield from my opponent. So this is going to be a situation where I might just push this to the 1-0s. If they really want to get switch advantage, so be it. I'm going to double Icy Wind debuff them. If they don't, right, they let this go. Obviously, we maintain switch and we have the 1-1. So they decide to let it go. So we maintain 1-1s. Medicham is not going to get that much energy here. About 2-3 counters. Yeah, it's going to be 3 counters, which is fine. Talonflame can come in. Final Pokemon is Bastiodon, which we're sitting good here with Blastoise, as Blastoise is just, obviously, it's shredding the Bastiodon apart right now. We need to be careful about Stone Edge. Stone Edge plus Smackdown is going to add up, and a Hydro Cannon is not enough to one-shot. Remember, this isn't a Swampert, right? Swampert's much more attack-weighted. It can hit like a truck with Hydro Cannon. Blastoise is defense-weighted, so you're going to need multiple in order to take down a Bastiodon. Even then, Swampert's Hydro Cannon does not one-shot a Bastiodon. So that is going to be a good game, as Medicham coming in right now as a tough choice in front of it. It's do you go down to Incinerates and a Hydro Cannon, or do you shield the Hydro Cannon and go down to Fly? So we're going to go ahead, and I decided, well, I didn't get the charge move off right there, actually. So they're going to go for Psychic here, which is fine. We're going to go for Fly, and then 2 Flies is going to be able to win this game. So pretty close, not going to lie, having a Medicham lead with a Talonflame. It got really close right there, and I think that's due to the bulk from the back line. But overall, good game to my opponent, as Talonflame is going to be sweeping that up. So this team overall, just really incredible for me. Where did this lock down at? Here we go. I was happily surprised. You guys saw what Blastoise did. It was just tanky. It took a hit. It had the coverage that it needed. It got me shields in the right scenarios, and that like opened up the door for Talonflame and Dugong to kind of do their thing. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.